the true power of code that we should see in the anime, and why Eida's abilities that make anyone fall in love with her can be Shisui Uchiha's technique. Enjoy watching. Let's first talk about the second form of code that you saw in the animation at the beginning of the video. In the new episode, we were told that Code was going to release his full strength, which, according to Amado and Kawaki, was able to defeat Jigen. This means that in the standard form that we now see in episodes, Code is not stronger than the leader of the Kara organization. In the last video, I was interested in several questions. The first is why Code does not have a Shiki's eye because he owns his karma, and the second, whether he has a Rinnegan that can hide behind his belt on his forehead. But now I am interested in something else. Does he need these eyes? If you look at the manga, with his belts, Code is able to change the form of the 10 tails and take these resulting creatures under his control. In Naruto anime, we have already seen how the 10 tails is divided into small parts, but they were all different sizes. This means that the 10 tails has this form, a form that allows you to divide it into many separate parts and turn them into a semblance of troops. Perhaps this is necessary in order to fight with a large number of enemies on one of the planets. Although, in a large form, it seems to me that it would be more effective, but it is not important. My point is that the 10 tails could transform into various forms, but Code, thanks to his technique, forced the 10 tails to take the form that he himself wants. Also, these creatures are able to move through his scratches. So, I have a question. What else is this technique capable of? I think it's no secret to those who have read the manga that all of the abilities that Code, Damon and Eida have were borrowed from Shisui Otsutsuki. And if you look closely at this image, then this creature behind has something like roots. But what if it's Code's straps, or rather their true form? And all these traces, this is the division by belts into small parts through which this god observes various planets with the help of the ability that Eida has. And this whole place in which he is located can be created exactly from the same technique that Code owns. We know that he is also able to see through his scratch technique. Here is an example of this. On the creature that was created from the 10 tails, Code's eye appeared, thanks to which he can see everything where this tailed will be. So, most likely those tentacles behind the huge Otsutsuki are Code's technique, and all these eyes, Shisui created the same way as Code does. This means that once Code has released his power, he is capable of much more than just moving through scratch technique. But what else is he capable of? Was it just because of this ability that he was considered stronger than Jigen, or because of physical strength? But in terms of physical strength, he lost to Damon, who was horrified by the strength he felt from Himawari. I'm leaning towards the fact that, after releasing his true power, Code needed time to fully regain it. That's why he lost to Damon. Besides, Damon is an unusual character. He also has a Shisui ability that allows him to deflect any attack. I'm looking forward to when Code will show us his true abilities. But first, I want to see his techniques in the normal form we see now in the anime. So far, it's moving through scratches and modified hands. But there must be something else. I was hoping to see Damon in this episode. However, so far this has not happened. So let's talk about Eida. As we know, Amado did not create techniques, he passed them on. So, he took an existing one and transplanted it to cyborgs. And I kept thinking what kind of technique Eida's ability to make all people fall in love with herself is like. And then I remembered one terrifying technique that Dunzo most wanted to get, and that Itachi used on himself, although he planned to use it on Sasuke. I think many have already understood that this is Shisui's technique, namely, the ability of his Mangekyo Sharingan, Kodomatsukami. Kodomatsukami affects the mind of a person and makes him think that what he feels and wants to do is his own choice. Therefore, this technique was considered very dangerous. However, it could not be used multiple times. How does Genjutsu work? You need something that will make you dive into it. Many believed that Itachi should not be looked into the eyes. However, it was enough for him to simply point his finger at a person, and he fell into an illusion. Most likely, it was this technique that was taken as the basis for the ability that allows Eida to make everyone fall in love with her. And what allows you to immerse a person in an illusion is her beauty. And the man, on a subconscious level, thinks that he has fallen in love with a girl. Evidence that it might be a technique like Shisui's is the fact that it doesn't work on Otsutsuki, since Genjutsu doesn't work on them. If this is indeed a Genjutsu, then it is understandable why, most likely, this technique does not work on Amado either, and he only pretends that it works on him, because his eyes are artificial. But this theory collapses if we remember that Delta fell in love with Eida, and, in fact, since she shoots lasers from her eyes, it can be understood that she should also have immune to this. But there might be another way to put someone under under Eida's spell, maybe the smell or the emotions she evokes. Personally, I don't believe that Amado didn't secure himself by creating these abilities. And judging by the words that he does not create abilities, but simply transfers them, and judging by the words from the manga, that the ability to make everyone fall in love with you did not belong to Shisui, the only suitable technique that could manipulate a person so that he believed that he himself wanted something, these are only Shisui's eyes. It might even explain why Sarada doesn't fall under her spell, because she is an Uchiha, and they are not so easy to immerse in Genjutsu. But if it's Shisui's technique, then it would work on anyone. So this is just a theory, but I think it's pretty plausible. I want to touch on the events from the manga a little more, since they also relate to the episode. Eida told us about how she can see events that happen anywhere, and now, we have been shown how it happens. When she watches someone with both eyes, her consciousness is in the place and time where the action takes place. This means that she moves in time and can only observe but not interfere in any way. Urashiki, in fact, also traveled through time, and his blue Rinnegan could predict the future, although, not really. Urashiki could change the future, so, most likely, Eida's eyes can not only watch everyone, but also somehow interfere with what is happening. But this has not yet been disclosed to us by the authors. Well, let's back to Code. Basically, he should become the new Otsutsuki's god. And I have a question. How will Boruto or Kawaki be able to defeat him if he, before releasing his true form, is incredibly strong? And after he returns it, he will become even stronger. And then, he is also going to become god. And according to Mama Shiki, Boruto will lose everyone. This means that, in the future, incredibly terrible events will occur. Anime Boruto is getting more and more interesting. Write in the comments what you think about all this. Put likes and subscribe to the channel. Good luck to all.